And Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Echad. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson. Lord's will is edifying to the Lord's elect. I was just searching through the news, and it was saying something about... Oh, there's so much going on. There's so much going on. I want to read this. This is drones. This is from the Washington Post. Drones over base where Rubio headchef live raise security concerns. So let's see what that's about. Lockdowns at U.S. bases in a global security alert underscore concerns that Iranian retaliation could extend to officials on U.S. soil. See, and he just vowed they just killed one of two Iranian officials, and one of the brothers I was just watching. Kingdom Minded was basically saying, that's the name of this channel, Kingdom Minded 144. He was basically saying how the Iranian official that they killed was like moderate. So he's the only, like one of the only ones that would sit down and talk with him. So ain't gonna be, you know, it's gonna be harder to reach talking if you putting to death the people who might sit down and talk with him. And they said that after his death that they vowed that they were going to do something about that. The FBI, maybe about a week ago, there was reports that they would be sending, there was like an Iranian drone threat saying that they could hit California. But then Iran said that that's not the case because their drones can't reach the shores of California. But not too long ago, maybe last year, there was drones coming to New Jersey. There was drones all over the place and no one knew where they were coming from. But then you look at the drones that they are making, it tells you it goes anywhere from 560 kilometers to like 750 kilometers. So I believe that equates to about somewhere around 2,000 miles. And Iran is pretty far away, okay? It's like 500,000, 5,000. So I forgot how many miles. I looked it up, but my numbers might be skewed a little bit. Pretty much the drones can't reach over here. But yet, Pete Hegseth and Rubio got drones over their house. Okay, so who's dealing with the drones? Who's sending drones over to their crib? That just goes to show you that ain't nowhere they safe. Says U.S. officials detected unidentified drones above the Washington Army base where Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth live. You inside of the base and you ain't even safe. So he's sending all these drones over there, so good luck. Good luck, man. I mean, there were drone sightings in Mar-a-Lago too. Okay, yeah. So nobody's safe from whatever these drones are coming from. And Iran's probably gonna deny it's them. But maybe he already made some drones over here. Who knows? According to 3 people briefed on the situation, officials have not determined where they came from, 2 of the people said. So they don't, just like last year, they didn't know where these drones were coming from. Okay? They didn't know where the hell these drones were coming from. So, these attacks could happen, so they actually could be drone strikes. As a matter of fact, I don't know where their base is, but that sounds like they're on the East Coast. Right? Wouldn't they be on the East Coast? Drones over, it doesn't say where the base is. Okay. It says the military is monitoring potential threats more closely because of the heightened alert level as the U.S. and Israel strike Iran, according to a senior administration official who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss sensitive security matters. Multiple drones were spotted over Fort Leslie J. McNair on a single night in the last 10 days, the official said, prompting increased security measures in a meeting at the White House to discuss how to respond. They might be chariot sightings, who knows? Lord's probably just terrorizing them. Because why would they just send drones to to scare Pete Hegseth and Mark Rubio. They don't want to scare you. They want to kill you. You know? But maybe they are. Maybe they're fucking with you. Say, we told you we'll send our drones over there. You got multiple days of drones scaring them. This is the drone sightings in Washington come as the U.S. issued a global security alert for overseas diplomatic posts and locked down several domestic bases because of threats. So that's Esau being scared. That's Esau being scared, man. He could cause all this terror somewhere else. Now the terror's coming to him. And Apostle Gabar said that was going to happen, and that's exactly what's going on. Joe. That's why it's good to listen to your elders, man. Job chapter 18. I start at the top. Then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, how long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards will we speak. Wherefore are we counted as beasts and reputed vile in your sight? He teareth himself in his anger. Shall the earth be forsaken for thee? And shall the rock be removed out of his place? Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. So Bildad is basically saying, man, the light of the wicked shall be put out, talking about his influence, man. People are not gonna, they're not gonna have that same reverence that they had for America before. That's what you're starting to see now. People ain't feeling the same way about Babylon as they used to. Even though they win in basketball games and Olympics and all of that shit, that's just a roundabout way for Esau to try to stir up that American pride, but they just lost to Venezuela. You took their president and they beat you on the baseball fields. It wasn't happy about that. And then your players look like they coming out with the flag and then you lose. All that triumphant, glorious, walking into the battle and losing, that's just weak. So you beat Dominican Republic, but you lost to Venezuela. Okay? So it goes to show you, man, you ain't stirring up that American pride anymore. So the influence of this place is being lost. Job chapter 18, and he's talking about America. In verse 7, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. Right? His steps of the steps that he's taking is difficult to make. He thought it'd be easy if he went over there and took down those Iranians, and it's not. The gas prices are going up. They're around $100 a barrel. They said when it gets to 115 to 150, you gotta print even like a crazy amount of money in order to try to stabilize, the price of everything. But eventually that's a system that's gonna crack. So the dollar's gonna fail. You're at the brink of your dollar ultimately collapsing. These other nations are using the Chinese yuan, so they don't even consider your money valuable anymore. And your money is based on petroleum, so he's trying to take that over it ain't working. It's actually doing the opposite. So his counsel's casting him down because his counsel ain't bringing him up and ain't exalting him. So he's going in the wrong direction. This is the book of Job, chapter 18 and 8. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. So the net that he's casting, he's falling into it. He's trying to declare war on other nations and take their resources, but it seems like it's having the opposite effect. Your gas prices are going up. Inflation's coming to you. Your dollar's going down. So it's the opposite. So it's a snare that he put himself in. Okay, Job 18 and 9, the jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. And that's talking about Yahweh Shah. The snare is laid up for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. So that's talking about the thermonuclear missiles that are in the silos in Russia and these other countries. Like it tells you in Jeremiah 51 and 2, fanners. The fanners are going to help when Russia bombs this place. These other nuclear-capable countries, they're going to bomb this place too, increasing the fire that's over here. Job chapter 18 and verse number 11. Terror shall make him afraid on every side and shall drive him to his feet. So look at that. They're at home, thought they could sleep. They're in the military base. They got all this protection supposedly. And here comes the terror, the drones. Okay, so did he go to sleep that day? No. Drove him to his feet. Okay, but that's even on an international scale. They're going to have to do something about this. Okay, it's going to be more chaotic than that. Nobody's going to be able to sleep. All right, he's going to make it where your infrastructure is going to get touched. they sending drones over there. They should start getting all your you know, the more hitting your infrastructure like you're doing them. I'm sure they're gonna do that to Israel because Israel just bombed one of their natural gas facilities in Pars gas field, something like that. I think it's in the Persian Gulf. So the locals rely on that natural gas. So Israel just bombed that. So he's putting terror on the people over there. So I'm sure Iran's gonna do the same. They might bomb some shit that they need, and they might come over here too, because America's working with them. So your water is at risk. Your lights are at risk. They're doing the same thing in Cuba. Galatians 6:7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever a man soweth, that which he shall also reap. And that's what he's sowing. Evil, death, destruction. He's blowing up people's infrastructure. All that shit's going to be happening to you. Just to even out the planes. The Lord tells you in Proverbs 11:1 that he's a balanced power. That's why all those things that are happening to these other countries that your country's doing to them is going to happen to you. So get prepared for you to lose your lights. Just like in ancient Egypt, when the Egyptians' lights went off, there was still lights in the Israelites' houses, because the Lord was he was the defense to them. So same thing that's going to happen to us. But not only that, when it really get dark out here, meaning there's no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what's going on, we're going to have the light. We're going to have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what's going on in that time. Okay, and we're going to be being able to maneuver or allowed to maneuver through the darkness. Unlike y'all going to crash and hit something. You're going to fall into a pit. You're going to hit a snare. It's the book of Job, chapter 18. As a matter of fact, let's go to Job 15. In verse 21, it says, a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. So the dreadful sound is in his ears, man. Oh, you can get touched. You had a military base and there's drones all the way around you. So I don't understand why he would be putting fear in him. So it makes me think that's the Lord. Terrorizing him. Making him see things that ain't even there. I saw a drone last night. His radar system's going off. You don't know why it's going on. He's seeing things in the sky, but he can't. They're not doing anything. They just there. And he think he's safe over there. He's just like Kiamini. He thought he was good down in the bunkers. He thought he was good, and the Lord still found a way to navigate and kill him. Okay, because he wanted to set somebody else. He needed somebody that was going to fulfill prophecy, not to be too nice. You got prophecy to fulfill, man. He wasn't fit to bring forth the Lord's will, so he put him to death. You're going to put somebody else in there. And that applies to everybody who don't want to do the Lord's will. He'll put your ass to death too, and your kids, your wife. You could be hugging him. He'll drop a nuke on your ass. Give a fuck about nothing. He's no respecter of persons. His will's going to be done down here. Job chapter 15, as a matter of fact, Job chapter 5, in verse number 12, it says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So there you go. All right, he disappoints the crafty. They're not going to perform their enterprise. He didn't think that he could get touched on this side. FBI just told you, like I said, like a month ago, that he was sending he could send drones to California, but they all the way on the East Coast. So where are these drones coming from? Are those the same drones you were scared of before, a year ago, from New Jersey, that you reported went out into the they went into New Jersey. They said there was a big mothership that they were going into with. There was really no reports about that. Then they try to say, oh, that it was U.S. Well, now what's happened? They said they were U.S. drones, but that didn't even make any sense. So you're just saying drones were flying around Mar-a-Lago, and then you reported that? Why didn't you just keep that silent if that was you? Shit don't make any sense. So it looks like your leaders can get touched. Everybody's on the table to get hurt. Nobody's safe from what's going on in this world, man. No matter where you can hide deep in a bunker, the Lord will kill you down there too. There's no way you can hide from the Lord. When judgment comes, it's coming for you. You can blame it on the U.S. and, oh yeah, it's spies next door. No, it was the Lord. He probably had filled up his bladder. That's probably what he said when he had the council, like he has in 1 Kings 22. Yeah, how we gonna get him? Well, I'm gonna make him use the bathroom because he got to go upstairs. There's a problem in the design. He put the bathroom upstairs where the missile, if it hit at this specific time, he could get hit. So while he's up there emptying his bladder, after he washed his hands and hugged his sisters and his daughter and his wife, we can blow them all up right then and there. And the Lord said, yep, that's good. Go and you'll prosper. You'll prosper in that. And he did that to appease him. All these deaths that happened is to appease the Lord. And you might not think, because there might be somebody in your family that just got put to death. Hey, it's all the Lord's clay. You want to do, you can take me and throw me off of them, crush the ground beneath my feet and just destroy me. It's the Lord's clay. You can do whatever he wants. Yeah, let me be a little bit more on that. It says the drone sightings in Washington come as the U.S. issued a global security alert for overseas diplomatic posts and locked down several domestic bases because of threats. This week, Joint Base McGuire-Dix, Lakehurst in New Jersey, and MacDill Air Force Base in Florida raised their force protection level to Charlie, a designation that means the commander has intelligence indicating an attack or danger is possible. The only higher alert level, Delta, is for when an attack has occurred or is anticipated. So they're right underneath Delta. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. But then he said that's when the attack was anticipated or it already happened. So they're right at Charlie. So where you gonna go? They know where you're at. I don't know where Pete Hegseth be sleeping and Marco Rubio. Who knows where he's at? Who has that information? That's some scary shit. You go through all these security protocols and you getting swarmed by drones around you. Just like the duck. How do you know he's there at that time? That's what I'm saying. That's either the Lord or they got the. I think it's the Lord terrorizing his ass, man. He can't sleep at night. Okay? So he's doing that to your enemies. And it's probably even all the rest of your enemies throughout all the world. So the Lord's working. Okay? Anybody who's being wicked, good luck. You're causing all this mischief. It tells you that the wicked can't sleep unless they cause something to fall. But they're causing many people to fall, and they still can't sleep. So there's nothing that they're doing that's allowing them to prosper. I slept great last night. I didn't have to worry about a drone last night. Oh man, I was feeling good. I was feeling absolutely amazing. Hey, the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua for not terrorizing me. He about to terrorize you people. It tells you in the book of Amos 9 and 8. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. So that's coming to y'all too. Let me grab that. That's 9 and 10. Amos 9 and I'll start at Amos 9 and 8 though. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord Yahweh. So he's not going to utterly destroy the house of Jacob because he left a remnant. So he's going to save them. Okay, and his eyes are upon this sinful kingdom, which is America. Okay, originally the sinful kingdom that Amos was prophesying against was the kingdom of Israel. But he didn't destroy it from off the face of the earth because it's still there today. They're still fighting over the land that Amos was prophesying on. So it's talking about here in America. All right, let me grab this in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30. Verse 11, for I am with thee, saith the Lord, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations, whether I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. So he's going to correct us in measure. Okay, but he's gonna destroy those other nations that are around us, oppressing us, and that's what he does. Everything that we go through on a day-to-day is because the Lord he's correcting us. He's keeping us not in the mindset to want to be here. So Israel still got to pay these gas prices. They got to pay their bills. They got to be screwed and all of that. But their mindset should be comforted by the Lord. The Lord should be comforting them. When they should be getting in their Bibles and the Lord should be comforting them through His Word. But if they're not doing that, they're going to be tossed up. They're going to be they're going to allow something else. They're going to seek some other form of comfort, and that's what's going to destroy them. If your comfort's not coming from this Word, if it's coming from your woman, if it's coming from your kids, if it's coming from anything other than the Word, that could be a stumbling block to you. Okay, the Lord if He really wants you, He might take whatever's causing you to stumble away from you. So you want to make sure that you're making an honest effort to make sure that you're aligned with the Lord. And the only way you can be aligned with the Lord is if you have that understanding of why He's doing what He's doing. He's not doing it just for no reason. Okay, you need to get the whole picture though. You need to eat the whole roll. Then you understand why He's doing the things that He's doing. Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 25. For I have satiated the weary soul, and I have replenished every sorrowful soul. Let me see, is that it that I'm looking for? No. Jeremiah 31, verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is His name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So if you look at the stars, the moon, okay, these are the ordinances. If they stop giving their light, then that's a sign that the Lord's not dealing with the nation of Israel anymore. But you see the moon every night, you see the stars all the time. It's harder to see them in the city because of light pollution, but they're up there and they're shining. And that's the Lord's words telling you that He's still dealing with the nation of Israel. Jeremiah 31, verse 37, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Yeah, so if you can measure the heavens, which is impossible, Esau probably trying to measure the heavens. Okay? And he can't do it. And if he can measure the depths of the sea, he can't even do that. He can't even get down there. So if he was able to do that, that's another way that that Esau can cut away sever the Lord from His children. But these are what we call dummy missions. He don't got the capability of doing that. The Lord's sending them on a stupid mission. That's why they want to block out the sun. Bill Gates has some way to block out the sun. They're trying to create clouds and shit to stop the sun from shining, stop the stars. It's not going to work. Even going down deep into the ocean and to measure, he can't do it. Even the smallest submarine that he sends down there, the pressure's so strong, it breaks whatever he sends down there. He sends small submarines down there, and it can't. There's a certain place it just won't. It'll get crushed. Something happens to it. So he'll never be able to get the layout. Jeremiah 31, verse 38. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord from, I think this is it though. Let me just see what it says. The tower of Hananel unto the gate of the corner. That's pretty much it. Amos 9:9. For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So just like a sieve, he's going to sift the house of Israel. Okay? Through all nations, he's gathering his elect with his word. Okay, and the undesirables are not going to make it through the sifting process. Well, the desirables are going to make it through the sifting process, but the undesirables are going to fall. Amos chapter 9, verse 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Why is he saying my people? He's talking specifically to the nation of Israel. All of y'all, all you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you speckled birds out there whose sin, which is the transgression of his laws, are going to die by the sword. Okay? So that's you. He's not talking to these other nations. They already got their day with death. They're going to get fucked up anyways, twice. All right? And you're gonna be living in the time to see it. Let me finish this article. It says, the drones over Fort McNair prompted officials to waive relocating Rubio and Hegseth. Two of the people briefed said the senior administration officials said the secretaries haven't moved. Their quarters on the base were publicly reported by multiple outlets in October. So, yes, can't even keep your house. They reporting where you live at, man. Stop dropping your location, man. It's just like some niggas that be beefing with each other. Drop your location, huh? That's what they're doing. You don't know how to move, man. You ain't really fit. You ain't never really been in war like that. You think you're safe over here. That's that confusion. That's that complacency. Hegseth's the same nigga that was texting the wrong text to the wrong person. So the fact that he's already a compromise within himself. Niggas sending emails to lawyers and other places like he's a fool. You know? And he did it twice. So I wonder if that's what caused him to if that played a part in it. But they said they reported on where he lived. What kind of top high secret, what kind of, come on, man. That's the Lord exposing you. He's even showing where your address is, putting fear in you. Who knows what else is being exposed? Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell declined to discuss the drones. The department cannot comment on the secretary's movements for security reasons, and reporting on such movements is grossly irresponsible, he said. Well, tell that nigga to stop sending out emails. Maybe he gave up his own location, sharing a location with the wrong person. He thought he sent it to his wife, or he sent it to the Taliban somewhere, or to the Ayatollah in Iran. Yeah, honey, I'm gonna be at Washington, D.C. at the military base from October 1st all the way to March 2026. And the Ayatollah was like, okay, sweetie, I love you. Dumbass. Wrong number. And that's who he got right next to him. So if Pete Hegseth and Mark Rubio ain't safe, you ain't safe. They don't even know where these drones are coming from. They couldn't even follow the drones. Where's your technology at? Where's that $1 trillion investment? How is that working? Where's AI at? Why isn't that telling you following it? Where's your drones following their drones? Where's all this tech? Where's all this power that you got? For the simplest things that don't even make any sense. You couldn't even search the water for the Iranian mines that he supposedly put down there, so you could blow them up, so you could get those your boats and stuff over that little the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran doesn't even have all. They don't even control the whole Strait of Hormuz. You got, when you look at it, there's half of it is his, so he can still get around and curve and get around there, but he's scared to do that too. That's legal for you to do that. That's not even his waters. It said that's the Oman and whatever, what's that, Oman and Saudi Arabian waters. Those are your allies. You should be able to get through there. What you scared about? Why does he have more, oh, because he got that on Karg Island. He got the Pars gas thing in the Persian Gulf. That's his. So that's where the people need to refuel and do all of that. But you got oil from Saudi Arabia, man. Shit don't make no sense. It says the State Department did not respond to requests for comment. Twice this week, officials locked down facilities at MacDill Air Force Base, home to U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, which is responsible for U.S. military operations against Iran. So here you go. Got drones right where you playing out your shit at, hovering above you. You worried about you sending strikes over there like you trying to blow up their command centers. You trying to kill their leaders and shit, and they know where your leaders live at. That's why you got drones hovering over your shit. It says, which is responsible for U.S. military operations against Iran. The FBI is now investigating a suspicious package that closed the base's visitor center for hours Monday. So they're sending packages to you. Maybe he wanted to give you an Amazon gift card so you can order something online. You know? You didn't have to shut down your base for that. Tell Jake to open it up. Jake will open that up quick. He likes stealing Amazon gift packages from people's steps. Come on, man. Just scared, just terrified. They don't know what to believe. Because you're causing so much chaos out there. Maybe Pete ordered something. Maybe he was ordering online. Maybe he wanted something. Maybe he ordered a book. Who knows? But everyone's terrified. It says, and on Wednesday, an unspecified security incident left the base under a shelter-in-place order for hours, the base said in a statement. Oh, they're being terrorized, man. That's just funny as hell. You supposed to be, you scared of a mouse? You're supposed to be the big beast, man, and a mouse come through and now you running in the house. The box is probably empty. Now that'd be terrible, man. They're sending you empty boxes and you're scared, so that's psychological. They fucking with your mind, man. Maybe you didn't see anything. Maybe stop doing drugs in the White House. Maybe you need to go see your doctor. Maybe you're having visions and things. Maybe the Lord's plaguing you. I think it's the Lord. All those babies you eat and blood that you drink, maybe something's in the blood. Maybe you're seeing things, man. That's how crackheads are, man. They start peeking through the windows thinking something always coming to get them, man. He's probably high as hell. Oh no, call Delta, make it a Charlie. Increase the level of Charlie. Who knows, man? He's probably out of his damn mind. I see a box out front. Whose is that? Call the National Guard. Call everybody. Tell them to get that box out of here. You got all this security and you scared as hell. It says, to ensure the safety and security of our people in the mission, commanders adjust their installation security posture in accordance with local threat assessments, an Air Force spokesperson said in a statement. On Tuesday, the State Department ordered all U.S. diplomatic posts worldwide to immediately undertake security evaluations, citing the ongoing and developing situation in the Middle East and the potential for spillover effects, according to a cable review by the Washington Post. Fort McNair houses the National Defense University and some of the Pentagon's most senior military officials. The base has not traditionally housed political leaders, but a growing number of DUC officials, including outgoing Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi L. Noem, have moved onto area bases citing security concerns. So they normally don't. Damn, the Pentagon's most senior military officials live there. Then here come you political leaders. The base has not traditionally housed political leaders, and you messing their base up, man. They're probably like, now get these political leaders. Ever since y'all came over here, man, you've been stinking up the place. We never had these drone sightings and shit like that, man. They probably saw a radar with multiple, like, what the hell's going on? They saying 10 drones, and probably was worse than that. Probably like, what the hell is that? It's like they just appeared out of nowhere. What direction did they come from? I don't know. They're just here. That's what makes me think it's the Lord. Who knows, man? These angels ain't no joke. It says, McNair is conventionally located close to Capitol Hill in the White House, but it does not have the same safety buffer as other bases in the capital region. Similar drone threats surfaced surrounding President Donald Duck and other top officials in recent years as Iranian leaders sought revenge for the U.S. strike that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in 2020. Yeah, they didn't even talk about Soleimani like that. As a matter of fact, I wonder if one of those two people that he killed, if one of them was I think his name was Soleimani too. So I wonder if that was like another family member, which would like reopen that wound that happened in 2020, because they revered him. According to U.S. officials spanning both Duck and Biden administrations, how long is this article? A little bit more. During the 2024 presidential campaign, the Secret Service detail protecting Duck's team repeatedly encountered unidentified drones, including during a news conference in Los Angeles and a motorcade ride through rural western Pennsylvania. That September, officials told Duck that Iran wanted to kill him and had multiple kill teams in the country. And while there was no evidence linking Iran to either of the assassination attempts that year, they could not rule out a connection. Shit, if Iran's sending white people to come get you, that's crazy. That's bugged out. They're sending people of your own race to come get you from your own country. That's high level right there. But you know, we were the same way, man. Let me finish this. Iranian threats against former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and former National Security Advisor John Bolton, whom Iran held responsible for the Soleimani strike, led the Biden administration to extend their government security protection. Duck removed their details in 2025, so there you go. But there ain't nothing for a precision strike, man. Israel did that back in the day. Let's go to the book of Judges. Judges. That is funny as hell, man. So now y'all do all this shit, and then what? Same shit come around to you. Judges chapter 3, verse 1. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. So these nations would approve us. Okay? This is where we were gonna get our we had to learn how to fight somewhere. So the Lord put us through situations that increase our strength to fight. Just like he's gonna be doing in these last days. You don't gotta be all big and strong to fight, man. Some little nigga can come fuck you up. If the Lord's dealing with him, he'll fuck you up. And if the Lord's not dealing with him, you'll get the upper hand. Okay? But all of it's to prove you, get you stronger. Judges chapter 3, verse 2, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at the least such as before them, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. Yeah, just like today. A lot of y'all don't know how to fight. Y'all don't know how to go to war. You ain't never been in those situations. But the Lord's going to prove you in these last days again, too. You're going to learn how to fight in these days. Judges chapter 3, verse 3, namely 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Right. So we prove him, see if you're going to hearken unto the commandments of the Lord. You know, a lot of these fights, all you had to do is listen to what the Lord told you to do. Just like those 300 men in Judges what's that? Judges 7 or 8, when I can't even think of his name. Let me jump over there real quick. Gideon. When Gideon went to go to war, the Lord told him to just to pretty much spy on these nations, and I forgot what the Lord did exactly, but he basically told Gideon he sent spies, and the spies went and heard these men talking, and they said, yeah, Gideon's sword was gonna slay them or something, and that was a sign that, yeah, we should go put their ass to death. So he would have only known that if he listened to the Lord. So all these things, the battle, when you listen to the Lord, he shows you how to win the battle pretty much, because he knows he's going out before you. Judges chapter 3, verse 5, and the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites, which is in the land of Canaan, which is Israel. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods, just like they were supposed to do. When you go to Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter. Deuteronomy 7, verse 1, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Right. So that was a commandment. They were told what to do when they get in the land. So Moses wrote the book of Deuteronomy. So he was telling them, this is what you're going to do. Now Moses didn't enter in, and Judges is the time after Joshua died. So that shows you they were disobedient then. Okay, they didn't keep the commandments. They would have prospered if they just kept the commandments. He told you that what to do. But here it is in Judges 3 and verse 6. They're marrying them. Judges 3 verse 7. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot the Lord their God, and served Balaam in the groves. So he served Balaam in the groves. Okay, just like you do today. You serving other gods. You wasn't supposed to serve their gods. The reason why the Lord was sending you in there to destroy them was because they were wicked as hell. And now you're serving their gods. So you kindle the fire within the Lord. Meaning you made him mad. Judges 3 verse 8, therefore the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Chushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Chushan Rishathaim 8 years. So we were in slavery for 8 years. Now that's a short slavery, real quick. All right. So that it shows you how many times Israel really been enslaved. Some 8 years. You know, that's what the book of Judges. I think the book of Judges is a span of 400 years or 500 years, somewhere around there. Let me look that up as a matter of fact. So I ain't lying. How many years does the book of Judges span from? The book of Judges covers a period of approximately 300 to 350 years, beginning shortly after the death of Joshua in 1350 BC to 1380 BC, and ending before the rise of King Saul around 1050 to 1045 BC. While 12 specific judges are named, the book covers a turbulent, mostly local leadership era. says anywhere from 330 years, 350. So I have another book that I think it says it's probably did approximately 400 years. That's probably what the anywhere from 300 to 400 years. Judges chapter 3 and verse 9. And when the children of Israel cried, Judges 3 verse 9. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. So he cried unto the Lord, and he raised up a deliverer, and that's what's going on now. You know, the afflictions is what's causing us to come back to the Lord, and that's how we know. That's another sign that Israel's ready to get picked up. We ready to get picked up from school, man. We ready to get up out of here. You know how you wait for your dad after school to come pick you up? That's what we're waiting for, through the Spirit. Because now, you know, we're going through a lot of afflictions, and that's what's good about the afflictions, because even though it sucks, I know that it's gonna wake Israel up. They're gonna come, because they're gonna be like, man, what the hell we keep coming to this church for? Why are we giving you motherfuckers money? Now the pastors are asking you to bring your tax returns to prove that you know, to give them money. You're gonna start realizing that demons at the MOTB start to come out too. You people who are teaching that it's not that. If somebody gets that shit, they get cancer or something, because that's what the scriptures say. You're gonna get a grievous sore. So if you're gonna get a grievous sore in your hand, you're gonna get brain cancer too, because it said in your right hand or in your forehead. All right. So you know, you're gonna be mad about that, because you're gonna be like, damn, I went to my spiritual leaders and they led me astray. If I gotta get put to death, I might as well kill them niggas too. So there you go. It's gonna be hell out here, man. Judges chapter 3 in verse number 10. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel. This is talking about Caleb's younger brother, Kenaz. Caleb was the one who Caleb and Joshua were sent to the promised land, and they came back with the report, and they were hating on them. They were basically they didn't like the report that we can go in there and take over the promised land, but they were scared. And because they didn't believe, we had to pretty much stay in the wilderness until that generation died off. But then Caleb and Joshua were able to make it into the promised land. So the Lord wasn't dealing with the whole damn nation then. He let all y'all get put to death in the promised land. I mean, in the wilderness. And he actually delivered those who actually believed in him. So he's not messing with the nation of Israel too. Judges chapter 3, in verse number 10. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out to war. And the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and his hand prevailed against Cushan-Rishathaim. So that's a deliverer. That's a savior, just like Yahweh Shai is a savior. So there's multiple different saviors in the Bible. They saved us from our captivity. But Yahweh Shai is the ultimate savior, because after he saves us, we ain't going back into slavery anymore. He's going to change our bodies. We're going to be immortal. We're going to have the law, statutes, and commandments written in our inward parts. We're going to be powerful. We're going to be superhuman, so to speak. Okay? It's going to be undeniable. Those are the true gods. And the heathen ain't going to be no other gods. Okay? We're their gods. We're going to be like gods upon the earth. Okay? And that's what the Lord, that's our blessing. Esau didn't want it. He wanted to be a god with robotic parts. That's a vain imagination. All right? Or he wanted to download himself into some program where he can fly around like in the Matrix and create poverty for everybody. That's hell. Nigga I can't believe that movie, man. I used to love that movie, and then it just dawned on me, like, this nigga really had poverty in a world that didn't even exist. He just created it. That's how evil this nigga thinks. He just wants to oppress. That's just in his spirit to be like that. So we need to be saved from this fucking devil. Judges chapter 3, verse 11. And the land had rest 40 years. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. So that's what happens in the book of Judges. He raises up a judge. You get delivered. 40 years of peace. He dies. Israel goes back off. Judges chapter 3 verse 12. And the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. So he raised up Eglon, the king of Moab. So here it is. You 8 years of slavery, 40 years of peace. Your Savior dies, you go off, just like now. Yahushua is gone, and look at the nation of Israel. They were serving the so-called white man. Going every weekend to the harlot house, being damn devils. It's the book of Judges, chapter 3, in verse 13. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees. So Moab gathered the children of Ammon, which is his brother, the so-called Japanese. Moab, the so-called Chinese man. And Amalek, which is the small hat, which is the Edomite, and went and smote Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and possessed the city of palm trees. I don't know what the city of palm trees is. Let's give me a precept. Judges 5, verse 14. It's saying, out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. After thee, Benjamin among thy people, out of Machir came down governors, and out of Zebulun they that handled pen of the writer. So I don't know if that's what that's talking about, but that's the precept. Let me find out where this city of palm trees is. In Judges 13, Judges 3, verse 13. It says, chat would know. What is the city of palm trees in Judges 3, verse 13? It says the city of palm trees refers to Jericho. Jericho was famously known for its abundance of palm trees. It's directly called the city of palm trees in another precept, Deuteronomy 34, verse 3, the city of palm trees unto Zoar, referring to Jericho. In 2 Chronicles 28, verse 15, mentions captives brought to Jericho, the city of palm trees. So there you go. So the city of palm trees is Jericho. Judges chapter 3, verse 14. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. So you served under the king of Mesopotamia 8 years, had 40 years of peace, went off again. The Lord raised up a Moabite to come up against you, the king of Eglon. So that's what he does. He'll raise up the other nations. So that's when the Lord's dealing with the other nations to come fuck up you Israelites. And that's why he was dealing with the so-called white man, to fuck y'all up, to build Babylon, to put hell on you, to afflict you, to oppress you. But this time he did it way longer than any other time. 8 years here, then you get back. Now you ain't got no government for all these years, and you ain't gonna have another one until the Lord returns. All right? And your people gonna be fucking serving, you're gonna be suffering the curses until the end. It's supposed to be a sign unto you, to remind you need a deliverer. But you want the heathen to rule over you. You want to vote for pedophiles to rule over you. Okay? So that's why you gotta be destroyed. Because you'll even set up a damn pedo to be over your king. Be as your king. When it tells you in Deuteronomy the 17th chapter, you're not supposed to have a stranger rule over the nation of Israel. He has to be among your brethren. You should be voting for your own leaders, your own people to rule over you. Instead of like these stupid ass heathen that are over here voting for other nations to rule over them. But they have their own governments. Judges chapter 3, verse 15. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed. And by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. So they sent Ehud the Benjamite. So he would be a so-called West Indian man. You know? Paul was from the tribe of Benjamin. So, you know, just he raised someone within your nation. It wasn't always like that. I mean, he also raised up one of those, you know, Cyrus the Great. He wasn't really considered a savior, but he was considered in the elect, though, an elect vessel that the Lord chose to use to grant rebuilding the kingdom. Okay, so he can even make your enemies be at peace with you. He didn't have to do that, but that was the Lord's will that had to be fulfilled. He wanted that second kingdom to be rebuilt so you can go off again, so it can be destroyed, so he can slay you with the sword and push you all the way here in Babylon. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to rebuild the temple to destroy it and go get you again. So he knew all of this from the beginning and the end. Judges chapter 3, in verse 16, but Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. So a 2-edged dagger. Judges 3, verse 17. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab, and Eglon was a very fat man. Just like now, you got a very fat man ruling over you now. He sent them a gift. So this is all part of his plan. But this is, he's gonna show you how he's a savior. He did it by himself. Judges chapter 3, verse 18, and when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bear the present. So this must have been a big present. People had to bear it. But he himself, Judges 3, verse 19, turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. So that reminds me of that movie Belly. When Method Man was drinking, he was getting all dizzy. He's like, I got a present for you. And he pulled out, I think he had 2 Desert Eagles. He's like, knowledge sent me. And he started busting at everybody in the club, and then the bartender hits him with the shotgun, and he busts through the door, and he runs across the street, busted. Then he jumps in the Benz and dips off. That's kind of like Eglon. That's what I think of when it comes to mind. He said, I got a present. Judges chapter 3, in verse 19 in the middle, it says, who said, keep silence, and all that stood by him went out from him. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. So that's a precision strike, man. The Lord just sent him in there. All right, but you got to have the spirit on you to go up and to go straight to the king like that. That's making your body a living sacrifice, man. But that's why you need a ruler that's gonna fight for you. So he's the savior, he's the leader, he's the judge. Okay? He's the one that came up and did it himself. The Lord was dealing with him directly to deliver his people. Judges chapter 3 and verse 22, and he hath also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. So he put it all the way up in his fat ass stomach. So the dirt came out. Let's look at this word, dirt. And that's he got a message from God. That's what he told him. And he put a knife in his stomach. So that's the Lord speaking through him, man. Yeah, that's directly for me, you fat nigga. Judges 3, verse 22. So So this is the type of men that the Lord raises up to save his people. So I can only imagine what Yahweh Shai is going to do to you people when you get here. He's going to be worse than them all. He's going to really hurt you. That's why his raiment shall be, like he tells you in Isaiah 63. And the dirt came out. Judges 3, verse 22. Judges 3, the dirt. Excrement, feces, meaning dubious. So the shit came out of his stomach. Then Judges 3 verse 23, then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him and locked them. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. Surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. I gotta see what that means. In Judges 3, verse 24, what does it mean that he covered his feet in the summer chamber? The phrase means to relieve oneself or use the bathroom. Covering the feet referred to a person squatting and their garment covering their legs/feet. It was a modest, indirect way of saying someone was defecating. Yeah, he was defecating, all right. He was definitely defecating. So he covered his feet. Judges 3, verse 25, and they tarried till they were ashamed, and behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them, and behold, their Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. And that's talking about the king of Moab. Okay, that's their god, Eglon, fucking, who they worship, Buddha. That's who I think that's talking about. That's who they worship. Israel killed their god, man. Put a knife in his fat stomach until the dirt came up. Alright. This nigga still be hanging that image up in his Chinese restaurants. Judges chapter 3 and verse number 26. And Ehud escaped while they tarried and passed beyond the quarries and escaped unto Seirath. Where's Seirath at? It sounds like... Judges 3, verse 26. What are the quarries and what is Seirath? It's good to have look these things up, man. The word quarries refers to graven images or carved stones, not just a rock pit. The Hebrew word here is pesilim, meaning carved images, idols, or graven stones. So you read it, you think quarries. I'm thinking water, I'm thinking rocks. And it's relating to images. So when it says Ehud passed beyond the quarries, it's likely talking about a place marked by idolatrous monuments, possibly near Gilgal, where such images or stones stood. In context, this shows Ehud moved past a known landmark, a place associated with heathen worship or carved stones. Meaning the name likely comes from the root. Seirath is a location in the hill country of Ephraim. Likely comes from a root meaning rough, hairy, or wooded, suggests a forested or rugged region. A place of refuge or regrouping. From there, Ehud gathers Israel to fight Moab. That's all I really wanted. Judges chapter 3, verse 27, and it came to pass when he was come that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. He blew the trumpet, he just killed their king, came and gathered the army, and then he went out before them. Okay, your leaders ain't about that. They're scared of mice. Okay? They're seeing things. I don't think they're seeing things. I think the Lord's terrifying them. Okay? Sending drones over the CENTCOM. All right? But your king, Esau's king, would never do that. Go out and fight before the rest of the people. He'll be way in the back, way in the country, down in a dungeon, telling you what to do with AI images, just like Sleepy Joe was. That's why they think he's been dead. All he did was send videos. He was never out like that. And who the hell will vote for somebody like that? Judges chapter 3. But now it's like, especially, how could you vote for another old ass white man when you just had that? That would have been the last. Joe Biden said if you're black, you ain't black unless you vote for me. You know? So that should have been a sign. Y'all were complaining then. You had Ice Cube coming out with plans. And then now they're gonna, you people are gonna go in groves to go vote for some damn more pedophiles. So you deserve what's coming to you. They ain't never had your back, and you will continue to play you'll continue to do it. So that's why the Lord got to put you to death. How much does he have to show you? Judges chapter 3, in verse 27, again, and it came to pass when he was come that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them, and he said unto them, follow after me, for the Lord have delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. So that's the so-called Chinese man, the Moabites. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty, and all men of valor, and there escaped not a man. So they put everyone to death. 10,000, that's a pretty big slaughter for somebody that don't know how to fight. Okay? The Lord was telling you in the beginning of the chapter, it was to prove them. Now they're putting people to death, you know, following after their leader. And Israel don't really, these nations, man, can't really fuck with us, man. The Lord really put the spirit on us. We'll destroy all of these people. Even the redneck up in the mountains. Put them niggas to death too. If the Lord is with you. But if he ain't with you, you're gonna get chased, you're gonna be running. Like it tells you in Leviticus 15 on down and Deuteronomy 28, 15 on down. This is the book of Judges, chapter 3. In verse number 30, so Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. So that's 80 years of rest. You don't have no rest here, man. Yeah, so you had rest 40 years. Slavery 8 years. Rest 40 years. Then slavery 18 years. Then rest 80 years. And after him, Judges 3 verse 31, was Shamgar, the son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also delivered Israel. So that's one man destroying 600 men. That's Israel, man. Small hat ain't never did nothing like that. The Lord hates that nigga. Like he tells you in Exodus the 17th chapter, he's gonna have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So they ain't talking about him. But I'm gonna end it here, Lord's will. This was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rechak Wadash. Shalom, Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala.